Okay, hi everybody and welcome to PharmaGenesis Oxford Central. My name's Tim Koder, I'm a Communications Director with Oxford PharmaGenesis, part while in the Barns, part while in Oxford Central here. And we're here to talk about the future of medical publishing, in particular to introduce you all to the Open Pharma project. How do we get to this point? On the left you'll see a representation of the current model for medical publishing, which is 350 years old, counting from the first volume of the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society. We all know that the model needs to change, and with issues of openness being discussed around the world, and with the open science movement becoming increasingly prominent, what are we supposed to do about it? Digital innovations used in other fields could address some well-known problems, such as transparency, accessibility, and speed. Authors and readers, though, have limited power to change the world, and publishers have limited incentive. In medical publishing, which is rightly more governed and scrutinised perhaps than other fields, issues of transparency, accessibility and speed are particularly important. One of the most important ways in which our industry of medical communications governs itself is through good publication practice, and everybody here will be familiar with that. Each iteration of GPP goes farther than the last one in driving transparency. However, does it go far enough? As an industry, we are lagging behind other fields. And at the Oxford University Press launch of GPP3 3 years ago, several of us from Oxford PharmaGenesis and a long-standing client asked ourselves, is it time for pharma to take a lead in challenging medical publishing? From that meeting at OUP, we then began discussions with stakeholders in medical publishing, and in particular, quite early on, engaged with Richard Smith, former chair of the BMJ and many other things, and a familiar figure in medical publishing ethics conversations. With his guidance, we grew together a big group of stakeholders, including pharma, regulators, patients, academics, traditional and disruptive publishers, for a roundtable meeting. There we decided that there was a role for pharma in driving change. Since then, we have helped to facilitate that change. Oxford PharmaGenesis is proud to play a part in this. Open Pharma is a non-profit seeking project at Oxford PharmaGenesis. While we don't seek to make a profit, we are part funded by the members and supporters of Open Pharma. What do we do? Our purpose is to aim to improve the pharma publications model by connecting pharma with innovations in publishing. Now we know more about the situation, we're able to take more of a leadership position in the dissemination and communication of science. That also involves engaging with the open science movement in the wider academic community. Under the chairmanship of Richard Smith, the involvement of multiple stakeholders, including not just the 5-6 industry, but the Wellcome Trust and the Royal Society, were able to bring in that information from the outside world into our sphere. And what we're trying to do is advance topics that we've identified as having particular possible benefits for pharma, such as open access policies, preprints, author identifiers, data sharing, and even potentially developing an industry-specific disclosure platform. So going back to the roundtable meeting, that question was a very open one. We didn't necessarily expect a yes answer. It could have been the right answer to say, we've explored it, do you know what, industry, it's not appropriate for you to go driving. But that group, which was mostly non-industry figures, agreed that actually pharma should be there in the conversation, helping to improve the publishing of science. We agreed to form work streams. These work streams had a mandate to investigate each of the areas that we'd identified as being potentially beneficial to our industry, and then to report back later in the year. So these smaller groups met every month, we did a lot of research, we contacted new people, we brought in the information on these different areas, on open access, on preprints and post-publication peer review, ORCID credit and convey, and layered publication platforms. Now all of these you can find explanations of elsewhere, including through NetworkPharma TV. We engaged with an awful lot of people. Some of these people are very much part of the Open Pharma process within the core group. Some of them are small touch points where we're just swapping information and being engaged. And this isn't an exhaustive list. It's just to demonstrate how big a task this is and that it needs everybody in the community to really do their bit. We are looking to lead and stimulate that collaboration, and all of these people here are very excited to be a part of that in different ways. One of the main ways that we have taken part in community engagement in medical communications is through ISMAP, and we're delighted that ISMAP has taken on a lot of this agenda. And we've helped to run some of the program for ISMAP with them, and big thanks to Al Weigel and lots of people from ISMAP for collaborating with the Open Pharma concept and making sure that each organisation has the right role to play. So we've been to ISMAP for panel sessions, for posters, for roundtables, and an oral presentation or two. We also have up and online educational materials such as the infographic you see here. We have summaries from some of the sessions at ISMAP, and you can download other resources, slides and so on. The place to find these things are in two ways. Publicly, we do have some information that's just within the group, but when we are sure of what it means, we release it so that everybody can benefit and comment, please. And there's two ways that this goes out. And firstly is through the Open Pharma website, which is in a blog format. There's some fixed information, but actually it's all about interpretation of the news and reporting things that we feel are relevant to everybody. And we'd really like some feedback on that. So please feel free to comment, to contribute, to let us know what you think, publicly or privately. And also on Twitter. I was never a big fan of Twitter until medical communications hit me in the face and told me to realise that is a great way of getting specific information about things that are actually quite esoteric for the rest of the world. We got a Twitter feed that is regularly updated. We're taking the information from the open science movement, from things relevant from the outside world that we think are going to fit in the MedComms conversation, and then we add some of our own content as well. So please do give that a read. The last piece on there is the report from the overview of the 2017 work streams. And for those of you in the room, you can pick up a copy on the video that's available to download from the website. And that is the kind of fixed point at which there's an information resource in writing across all of the different activities that we're investigating to help you as you explore where open science meets your agenda. And last but not least, just today, and today is the middle of October, we've just released the Open Pharma's podcasts on predatory publishing, which is very exciting. We've had a lot of success with podcasts on client work, and we think this is going to be a good concept for the Open Pharma movement. Please have a listen, tell us what you think. Thank you.